Fall River. He and I flew up, I happened to be in New York yesterday, and we flew up into Providence and did a tour and saw some of the property that had been foreclosed. The mayor and he and I had a chance to discuss some of the federal programs. I was particularly pleased he got to see in my colleague Jim McGovern's district, and we appreciate the courtesy, but the housing for the veterans that the city very creatively did using two HUD programs, the home program, the community development block grant program, putting the two together and providing 6 units of housing for veterans in a very creative way under the CDBG program. We talked about a pending application that all of us, including our colleagues from the legislature who are here, will be lobbying the state for a $700,000 grant for a major demolition project under a federal program called the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, which basically is to deal with abandoned property, partly by buying it up and making it available for others, but also for tearing down stuff that's blighted. So, look, Fall River is very much the kind of place we have in mind when we do urban programming, and it's therefore very important for the Secretary.
It was great to have Bonnie bring the Secretary here for us today. He was able to see firsthand how the money is being used. And the last stop we had was at the new Veterans Facility on Tecumseh Street. The Secretary got a chance to see how it's helped to revitalize the neighborhood, a neighborhood that was going downhill in the wrong direction. And now that's stabilizing that neighborhood, providing housing for the first time, city housing for veterans in the city of Fall River. There's a great need for it. There's a waiting list for it. And we're flipping over properties in the South End with HUD funds and HUD programs. As Bonnie just mentioned, the $700,000 we've applied for from the state of HUD money for demolition programs. And one of them is the former St. Louis school in the William Street area. It looks like it's a combat zone in that area just because of that school. Property owners around that school maintain their properties. It just looks like somebody dropped this ugly thing in the neighborhood, and that money will help us improve that neighborhood tremendously and bring it back.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for showing us what you've done. Really impressive work, particularly moving to see the work that you've done to help veterans who have served the country so effectively get back on their feet with the help of HUD funding. Mr. Mayor-elect, nice to meet you as well. Good luck as you take over the term starting in January as well.
Here with us and standing side by side in our city. There's so many problems that the city of Fall River is facing right now through foreclosures and abandoned properties. So as the mayor-elect of the city of Fall River, I look forward to partnering with you at the federal level to help stabilize the city, and also with our state delegation working as partners moving the city forward. So thank you.
The way the Recovery Act, about $7 million in funding here in Fall River, has begun to make a real difference, helping to create and preserve jobs. We talked about contractors who have been able to keep people on the job. We talked about firefighters who have, and police officers who have been able to keep their jobs as a result of the Recovery Act. But the other thing that Chairman Frank is so focused on right now is making sure that we don't ever see a crisis like this happen again. He's on the front lines of making sure that we create a regulatory system in this country that works not just for Wall Street, but for Main Street as well. And he's on the front lines of making sure that we protect consumers with the new Consumer Financial Protection Agency as well.
There appears to be a slowdown in the foreclosures. We had 217 of them last year, and so far this year we have 124. So there's anyone losing their home, it's a tragedy. However, it has appeared to slow down in our city, so that's a positive.
To invest this money, and I know the Secretary is going to talk more about it in just a moment, to invest this money here in New Bedford, and more to the point, in you. There are all kinds of grants that we talk about in economic terms. We talk about them in terms of their good government nature. See this investment also as an investment in our value.
I apologize for stealing about half of my senior staff from the state of Massachusetts. It is just remarkable. If you think about Sandy Enriquez, who's now running public housing for the entire nation, you think about Peter Kovar, who's here, who worked for Chairman Frank for so many years, Barbara Sard, Bill Apgar, so many great creative housing leaders that have come from the state of Massachusetts. And so thank you for your contribution to the work that we're doing around the country now at HUD. And Barney, in honor of your work, all of the fighting that you've done for affordable housing, I look forward to celebrating the funding of the National Affordable Housing Trust Fund. It's bloomed and it's festered, frankly, in many communities around the country. We did not take strong enough actions as a country to stop predatory lending. In fact, Chairman Frank fought for many years to try to strengthen controls around predatory lending, and the last administration just did not do that, and for too long didn't step up to try to do something about the rising tide of foreclosures once they had begun.